Hello, I'm Michael Stumpf, and this is my 5-minute video presentation for Advanced Data Programming with R. For this project, I wanted to see if there was any link between the price fluctuations of Ethereum since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic back in April 2020. Ethereum is one of the more popular cryptocurrencies on the market, one that I personally invested in. So I thought it would be good practice to explore different data sets and how they might be related to Ethereum price fluctuations. For this project, I decided to use the household pulse survey data conducted by the Census Bureau for the entire United States. This survey has numerous questions that tries to get a general idea of how COVID-19 has affected Americans' lives. As you can see, there are 37 different CSV files of survey data that correspond to a specific date. So to download all the CSVs efficiently, I just wrote a quick Python script because I'm a little bit faster in using Python to go through and download each of the files and then unzip them and place them into a folder where I can bring them into R. After downloading and unzipping the zip files, I first wanted to experiment with pulling in all the data in the 37 surveys consisting of roughly 70,000 rows each into a single data frame. I quickly realized that our data frames are stored in RAM. Therefore, every time I tried to read in the data from all the files, my computer would freeze and I eventually get to a point where I had to restart the computer. To enable reading all that data into a data frame, I used Google to search for articles relating to oversized data frames. I came across a Stack Overflow article listing several packages that would store the data on disk instead of RAM. After some experimenting, I found that disk.frame worked really well for my use case, and I was able to read in all of the data from all 37 survey files. After reviewing the Household Pulse Survey Dictionary, I decided to first plot the birth year totals of the various responders to get an idea of the different age groups in the survey. Here you can see the wide range of ages in the responders. Next, I decided to plot the number of individuals that replied yes to losing their job since March 13, 2020. I soon realized that the survey question changes in the 28th survey. The text read, "Have you lost your job in the past 4 weeks," as opposed to losing it since March 13, 2020. I decided to keep them both in the same plot just to get an idea of the total number of individuals saying they lost their job regardless of when it happened. After plotting job loss, I created a bar chart showing the totals for all the respondents in the 37 different surveys for the worry variable. The question for this variable read, "Over the last 7 days, how often have you been bothered by not being able to stop or control worrying? Would you say not at all, several days, more than half the days, or nearly every day?" As you can see, the majority of respondents selected not at all. This was a little surprising to me as I would have assumed COVID-19 increased people's anxiety. However, the second highest was several days, which more closely aligns with my assumption. Following up with worry, I wanted to get an idea of general food insecurity. This question asked, in the last 7 days, which of these statements best describes the food eaten in your household? Answers are shown on the graph. I would think that if a majority of Americans can't afford food, they would be less likely to want to buy Ethereum or even sell it off, driving the price down. Here you can see a majority answered enough, which is a good thing. Not too many people are going hungry, but there is still a small amount of people answering not enough or sometimes not enough. The final plot in this video is one of Ethereum weekly prices since April 2020 till today. I was able to get this data from invest.com. I simply graphed the price of Ethereum against the week given in the graph. You can see there are close to 80 weeks from April 2020 to October 2021. However, we only have 37 survey files. This indicates that there is a discrepancy in the cadence of when the survey data was collected. Going forward, I would like to pair the price of Ethereum data with some of the responses from the survey and see if any of the categories would have an effect on why the price of Ethereum went up or down. In summary, I'm going to try and marry the household pulse survey data with Ethereum price data and see using various models if there's any correlation with the effects of COVID-19 on Americans and the price of Ethereum. Obviously, Americans aren't the only ones buying and selling Ethereum, so some consideration will have to be given to that fact. Also, it will be challenging lining up the 80 weeks with the 37 survey files. The surveys indicate that they go from May 2020 to September 2021, so I will have to come up with a way to align both of the data's time frame before I can do any type of statistical analysis on the data.